Hey kids, I'm right now looking at these coasters online that people 3D print. That's where I got my inspiration for this. So we're going to make our own coasters. So let's get started. Let's start a new design. And you know what? Let's just go ahead and save it now. It'll ask you to save if you try to delete it. But anyways, I'll call this my coaster or something. Whatever. Anyways, now our last project we did in centimeters. This one we're going to do in inches. You might be thinking, Mr. Poe, why inches? Well, because, I don't know, variety. All right, so changing it to inches. I'm not going to set that as the default. And okay, so y'all can't see this, but I literally have a coffee cup thing, and I'm measuring it. I think what I want to do is I want the coaster to be about 4 inches. I should have done this ahead of time. So let's create a circle by starting a sketch. So I'm going to click here to start a sketch. Doesn't matter which plane you pick. I'll pick this plane. And I'm going to create a circle. And that's going to be this button. Or you can just use the letter C. You know, that was a good time for me to show you this. If you hover over these, like this one, I could draw a rectangle with R. You can see it in the parentheses. Here I can draw a line with the letter L. It's in parentheses. And if I hover my mouse over the circle, it shows a little lowercase c in the parentheses. So if I just press C, it'll draw a circle. But whatever, you don't need to memorize that. You can just click on this every time if you want. I'm going to create a circle that's about 4 inches. So I'm going to type the number 4. And there we go. Let's finish the sketch, and let's extrude this. And look, extrude, you can do that with the letter E. You don't have to press that button every time. So I'm going to extrude this, I don't know, maybe like a ½ centimeter, ½ inch. No, ½ inch is way too big. Look at that. How about 0.2? Okay, that looks good. All right, maybe 0.25. Yeah, quarter of an inch. So now a lot of coasters have little feet on the bottom. So let's go to the bottom and create some little feet. All right, so I'm going to create a sketch down here. And why don't we create some lines? All right, so I'll create a line there, and I'll press escape to end my line. I'll create a line here. Notice I'm not doing it to the top. That's because I know it's to come. If you want to do it to the top, that's fine. You know, it doesn't have to go to the edge of the circle if you don't want to, but pressing L for line each time. Now, I did that by pressing the letter L. You could have made those lines just by clicking up here. And now I'm going to create the center point for each of my little feet. So I'm going to create circles at these intersections. So you see where my circle is intersecting those lines? I'm going to create little feet at each of those. So I don't care where I do it. I guess this looks good, like 3.3. Yeah, good enough. Okay. And now I'm going to create circles at each of those intersections. So my first circle will be right here. And why don't we make that a ½ inch? So 0.5. And I'll create another one right here at 0.5. Press C for circle, type 0.5, and enter. And there we go. Now, normally what a lot of people will do is they'll trim these extra lines because all we need is the circles. If you want to do that, that's this here, trim, or T. You want to trim them. You don't have to trim all these little lines. They don't really matter. I'm going to finish my sketch. So now I'm going to extrude my little feet. So I'm going to click here for extrude, and I'm just going to select these things so I get circles. All right. And how much do I want to extrude these? How about 0.2? That looks like that might be too much. How about 0.1? 0.15. That's good to me. Okay, cool. So now you basically have a coaster. You know, you could 3D print this. You have a coaster for your drinks and stuff. But I want us to create some designs, okay? So we're going to put designs on the top. We're going to cut them through the coaster. So to do that, create a sketch on top of this. And what I want you to do is just use the line tool. So I'll use L for line. And I'm going to create I'm just gonna kind of wing it. Hold on. I think I'm gonna create the Green Lantern symbol. So I'm gonna create a circle. This is the part where y'all get creative. Make a design of your choosing. Mine is not going to look perfect because I'm trying to create a video for y'all, although that's way too bad. Control Z. All right. Okie dokie. So I'll finish my sketch now, and I'm going to extrude that area to cut through my coaster. So let's say I want a whole inch or something. That's going the wrong way. I want it to cut through. So instead of typing 1 inch, I'm going to type -1 inch. And see, now it cuts through it. So I'll press enter, and there's my coaster. Now, you don't have to do yours with shapes like I did. Let's go and back to where we were. If you want, you could just do a bunch of shapes with the line tool. So I could, like, I don't know, I could do that, make a little P. And then I could do a little O. So I'm doing this just by using L for line. I do it once, and then it kind of lets me keep on clicking. Anyways, now that you can do something like that is what I'm saying. You don't have to use the perfect circles like I did. So then I'll do -1 to cut through everything, and there's my coaster now. Poe. Misspelled it, though. All right, that's about it. Good luck, you guys. Put everything in the OneNote. Don't forget to save.